So I think you as a skater, and maybe with your movement, you can tell the audience or yourself, this is the move from point A to point B. I think you're the one kind of choosing the trick, and it just needs to look like you were intentional about the beginning and the end. Sometimes I see it when people starting out skating, they don't know when to start, or maybe more so they don't know where to finish the trick. Because finishing the trick, finding the right tempo and the right symmetry visually, or like how your hands and like both sides of your body are moving and how you're interacting with the object. It just needs to feel like a trick. It needs to look like a trick, but it takes experience to really know. I guess with gazelles and things like that, that's why I wanted to define something, almost creating letters or words. So a gazelle is a word. Parallel turn is a letter, maybe. And rolling in a straight line is also a letter, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe a gazelle is combining two words. It's a saying, So you have letters, words, sentences. Yeah, just to note that the whole idea of language, that was Collin Martin. I asked him when I saw him in Vancouver one time, I asked him, how do you choose what tricks to do?
I was in Vancouver and Leon asked me how I decide what tricks I do. And I told him, I look at skating as if it's kind of a worldwide conversation. The content that we put out is the contributions to that conversation. I told him that it would kind of depend on what is happening in that conversation. I try to not say the same thing over and over again. I try not to speak too loudly. I try to say something that has value. Why talk just to talk? Why say it over and over again? That's just my own personal philosophy. But I think as far as finding what tricks you should do, it ought to be a matter of listening to the conversation and contributing to the conversation when you have something that is of value.
He explained it as, it's like a conversation, and there's maybe 10, 20 people that are part of the conversation. And you need to be a really good listener. So you kind of like have to know what people are doing, and then you want to say something that contributes to this conversation, not just add noise. So finding something to say through skating is how he thinks about it. No one is doing a certain thing. It's like he comes in and says, hey guys, let me add something to this. And then people are like, oh yeah, this is good. I can use this in my sentence.
I think people understand my style more than I do myself. Yeah, I've mentioned to you previously that I feel like not an outcast, I think that's a strong word, but essentially an anomaly within the skaters, just because I don't have the typical wizard skating style that most people do. I like to take inspiration from others where I see that any moves that I feel like I can improve on. There are some wizard skaters in Korea. I think her handle is Skate Jae-hee. I see her bending her legs a lot, jumping up and like just being very effortless. And I feel like that style is just so cool. It feels more reminiscent of maybe even hip hop, whereas I feel like I'm a ballet dancer. And yeah, it would be nice to pick certain things up from other people. And I don't think I would have progressed so much if it weren't for skating in London, skating with very talented skaters. And yeah, I mean, I had a call with some girls who wizard. And it's a shame when they're basically the only skater in their hometown. I think part of the beauty of skating is when you can bounce ideas off each other and unlock creativity that way.
Developing your own personal style is probably the most important thing. It's important to me, and I think it should be important for other people. Watching other skating as well and discovering stuff that's missing from watching other skating, like not in a negative way, not watching people and being like they're not doing this, but being like, okay, like finding the gaps of what's not being filled and why, and trying to make it a bit more complete, I guess. And I think that's probably what I was striving towards, is just trying to find those like niches. I mean, we're in a niche within a niche within a niche, but it's like then good to use those skills and utilities that you've learned from doing that to then like push it a bit more, give back. If you're not bringing something new or trying to make an impression, then I feel like you're not giving back as much.